Welcome back, folks, to another scorching episode of the Wet Shivers Roundtable. This is episode 59, and I don't have enough fingers to demonstrate that. I am Douglas Smythe from PhoenixArtisanAccoutrements.com, and with me, as always, I have Scott Ostermiller from TheCleanShaver.com, and below us, David Gonzalez of SoSharpLimited.com. Say hi, David. Okay. We're just testing this mic now, folks, as we begin the show. And with us today, we have a very, very special guest. You may remember him as our substitute co-host last week, Mr. Luke Webster of Blades Grim. StraightRazors.com, Classic Shaving, Hart Steal, Shaving 101. Where does it end with this guy? I mean, he's everywhere. It's been a very, very crazy, busy year for Luke, and we're so glad to have him on the show to explain everything that's going on. And it's so exciting. The buzz is out there, especially with this recent Kickstarter that I want you to just explode about. But welcome to the show, Luke.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you, man. Officially have you. And again, we appreciate you filling in last week for David when he couldn't make it. That was a lot of fun. So let's begin at the top, Luke. I mean, over the years, I know for myself, before I met you officially, I heard your name here and there, but I never really, you weren't really there. I never had a chance to really talk to you online or whatnot. Then when I finally met you in person, you're a wonderful guy doing some really great things. And I don't think a lot of people know that. They just hear Blades Grim and they don't know too much. So
Sure.
Why don't you start us from the beginning, your journey into wet shaving?
Sure. So the journey was a bit rocky from the beginning, quite honestly. We ended up, we kind of got into it by accident. Found a domain name that was unique on the drop as vintage or feather razor and vintage straight razor. Somebody was dropping a whole pile of wet shaving related domain names. And we bought those because they had traffic, and we looked at it and I was like, wow, it's a whole other way to shave. And we started, I started off with Marty from Vanderhagen, a lot of his soaps and stuff, awesome products, and a really great way for anybody that wants to be introduced. And it was cool because I could call my dad and be like, have mom go to Fred Meyer's and, pick up this mug and a brush. And, they have great product placement. So that's the wonderful thing about Vanderhagen. He's really penetrated all these different parts of the market. Okay. And from there, and they were awesome to work with, starting out, really great company and we sold pallet loads of their stuff. We gave it away with any one of our razors. And we based a vintage straight razor. We had like a premium kit, which was a simple set, and then a luxury kit, which was their nicer. And we ended up, honestly, started off with a lot of like poor quality China and Packy blades. And that built a horrible name for me in the industry, because I was this maniac, with a knife sharpener, sharpening, having guys sharpen straight razors and stuff. And it's one of these things that was really tough to learn. Anybody that had this, and I'm probably going to insult some people here, but it is what it is. But anybody who had spent, a couple days learning how to hone something, they held that shit really tight, and they weren't about to share it with anybody. And they thought they were God's gift to making a razor sharp. And reality is it's one of these things, like, I'm big on sharing knowledge. So it was a tough industry to come into, 5 to 6 years ago. It was, we didn't have people like you guys championing it really. We had more people like wanting to hold it down and control it. And I think it's really great what you guys are doing. I love the fact of sharing knowledge and pushing the craft forward. Yeah. I mean, and, water raises all boats, unless you got holes. So, the way I see it is the more innovation we have, the more stuff that we can do, collabing together and stuff, the better a chance we have of really knocking the shit out of somebody like Gillette, right? Really making a dent.
Exactly.
The beer guys have done a good job.
Separation. It's those big companies that want the separation. They want to divide and conquer, us to fight amongst ourselves. I want to see everyone succeed is what it all comes down to in the end. Stop being, we need to start working together and really focus on the word community.
Agreed. And you guys are great ambassadors. No, it's 100% true.
And it actually even was, and it wasn't only the big companies. A lot of, like he said, those honers. There was a lot of little honers out there that just did not want to say a thing about it, and made it seem like putting a good edge on a razor was like
the unicorn,
a mythological thing that you could only receive from a magical person. Yeah, dude, and I'm all like, Jesus Christ, it's really, really an easy thing once you know it. But these guys just made it out to be just ridiculous, and it was just that old guard. They didn't want to open up the world to a new generation of shavers, and it just made. That's why a lot of like those online forums weren't
100%.
a good fit for a lot of people.
It's what people would find. 100%. When they were out searching, but the downside is you wouldn't necessarily want them to find, a lot of that stuff. So we're getting some feedback. Is that good, guys?
It's better now.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
Cool. All right, and so from there, I just kind of kept forging forward. We figured out how to make our own blades. We figured out how to sharpen them properly. We hired a professional like Tim Zawada to really kind of come in and show us the basics and all the good points on it. And he's a great guy. He was very good about championing the right way to do stuff. And
he's good people,
from there,
as David says.
Yeah. And so it worked really well, and now our goal is just to keep, promoting the craft of wet shaving, and anything we can do to help that, is kind of the big thing there, and that buying these other companies, I mean, it's tough right now in our business. There's a lot of people out there making products, and competition's tough, but if we can, we can help champion it and get more people out there wet shaving, I think the better it's going to be. Obviously, the better it's going to be. And a lot of these guys, we sell tons of beard oil and beard care products as well. And one of the reasons why is when those guys decide to shave, they're going to be utilizing product. And I'd encourage you guys all this too, to get into that market too. Don't ignore the people that love growing beards or cool mustaches, right? Give them some products, and and then when they come back to shaving or whatever, or when they keep their lines, they're going to utilize your pre-shaves and after shaves and things like that. So it's not this, it doesn't have to be this war. We get these clowns all the time commenting on a beard, Facebook page or on our shave Facebook page, like real men don't shave, and that, there's last guy that did this, he had a shaved head, and I was like, that's a very nice head you have there, ma'am. And and then he's like touche, laughing out loud. He was cool about it, but it's just insane. And a lot of our military guys have to shave, and a lot of oil field workers. There's a lot of people that just have to shave because of SCBA or regulations. So,
sure.
Giving them an option when they have to do it daily that isn't going to be irritating to them. That's what we do. We give them great products. They get good results, and they don't get the irritation, and that's what we want.
Well, and you're in a good place as far as like your niche, like being a provider or purveyor of all the different aspects of it. You have the straight razors, you have the brushes, you have this product list that's vast enough to be able to put you in a good spot. We have a lot of people that are trying to get into it, whether it's just with making soap at home or some single line items, which isn't necessarily bad because that
sure,
new innovation promotes competition, but that puts you in an interesting spot to be able to provide all those different services to a more broad market, right? And
sure,
yeah, it's somewhat unique among the artisans that are, and I don't mean that facetiously with the air quotes, but with people that call themselves artisans, and there's a lot of them.
Sure,
a lot of people that make their own stuff, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's just we don't get a lot of artisans that are in the position that you put yourself in. So it's awesome.
Thanks.
It's true. Yeah, you put it all under one roof, and that is completely unique. And and you have a life outside of the forums too, which is unique to a lot of artists and inventors as well. You want to tell us a little about that, Luke?
Which side?
How are people finding you? Really, I mean, like I see you. You're existing out. You don't need the forums to exist. You're out there doing it. Where are you? Where are you at? How's that working for you?
So it's very similar to a previous industry that I'm in, and used to be heavy in, but now I'm still active in, and it's domaining. When I came into it, it was very parasitic. I mean, like everybody kind of bought and sold from each other, but they didn't go out and try to sell to end users or people that might develop these great names that they had. Some people did, but for a majority, they kind of sold them back and forth to each other, and they collected them. When I came in, it was very much like that. It was either, if you didn't have, your stuff dialed in on the forums, you weren't selling some of your soaps or brushes or whatnot. my goal is not to sell to people that already have, I mean, I'm happy to sell to the people that have a collection, and we do, but I cater towards the new people, the people that are, showing them, giving them an option where they're not having to spend $300 or $500 on a nice set, a straight razor set to get into the art. Nobody wants to drop that kind of money to find out that, they don't like it, but people will drop $50 to $60 real easy on an entry level beginner set.
Sure.
And then you know what they do? Then they come and buy a $300 razor from me.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they like it, and the average guy, he really likes having the idea of learning how to straight razor shave. It's kind of like a rite of passage for a lot of people.
Exactly.
It's like, it's a bucket list, right? And then once they get into it, like about 15 or 20% convert into a nicer blade. And that's a really good thing. And for a long time, they would convert into my competitors' blades typically. And so these guys a couple of these forum guys that may have had issues with, me selling cheaper blades were benefiting from a whole new industry of people, because we'd bring in thousands of people every month that have never wet shaved. And that's what we need. We need people going out and fishing and catching new fish that haven't already had a straight razor or two.
Well,
right. It's trailblazers getting burned by the people benefiting from their, it's first penguin.
You mentioned that your previous line of work was in domaining, right? And so you've acquired a lot of very popular domains. So you own straightrazors.com, which as far as I work in digital marketing, so like SEO value, that's huge in having that domain name. You own Straight Razors online. That's it.
Yeah. And underneath the grooming network, we've tried to acquire all the best names that we could, like beard.com, a lot of different unique ones. We're putting a couple other really cool ones under contract right now that will, to purchase. But straightrazor.com and straightrazors.com are really important. We're super stoked about Classic Shave, Classic Shaving, and that's going to be a fun one. And then we're building out shave.club. And beard.club as well, and those will be unique too.
That's awesome.
Nice. Very nice.
Anybody that's getting into the industry, or that's starting a shop right now, I really say there's lots of great new. They're called GTLDs. They're like the .club or .io, like the new extensions, and those rank really well. And I'm a big supporter of .club. I think that those make great websites and great. It's a great platform to build off of. And the .club ownership does a really good job, an ambassador program of championing if you build on their .club.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's a good place to start for anybody that might be looking at a wet shaving product or starting a company.
Cool.
And they're relatively cheaper too than the .coms, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's about the same. Well, yeah. You can register. You don't have to go out and pay premium prices of a couple $1,000s for a name.
Yeah, totally. No, I too been collecting domains for years too. And then in fact, I got involved in the wet shaving world by accident as well. And I think that's what happens when you stumble into these things. You're learning it for the first time and you make mistakes. But the thing is, it's tough to look at it. I guess you don't really make mistakes, but you do. But it's something you learn from, something you have to do in order to learn what not to do and how to be a better person and a better businessman, and something that you're just not familiar with. So
you sound like you're speaking from experience, Douglas.
Well, I feel Luke's pain. I also I started the blog, howtogrowmustache.com. It's all about domains, or it was for me for a while, out of my, the background I come out of. And so it's just it's learning on the fly, learning as you go. And you will screw up, and you will screw up. The fact of the matter is we're all human and everyone makes mistakes, and people need to remember that, Just got to keep it real and own it when you do. And that's what I try to do.
100%.
Right? So what else we got going on? Let's talk about the Kickstarter campaign that you just dropped at the beginning of the last week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting and exciting. I think it'll be a fun project. Basically, it's an idea I've had for a long time, and the main reason for it is I started shaving.club, and we got a few hundred subscribers, but the problem is if you send people a shave soap every month, even a 2 ounce, but let alone a 4 ounce, after 6 months they got enough shave soap for a couple of years. The stuff lasts forever. So they'll cancel their subscription basically. So I was like, how can I solve this problem and still give people some value every month? And so I came up with this idea of utilizing unscented bases for like a shave cream and a shave soap, and then using we have a really popular pre-shave like you guys do too. Like, and I was like, why don't we just add more scent into the pre-shave, change the base a little, and make it like a two-step process where you add a couple drops of your pre-shave, scented pre-shave, and then you mix, you muddle that, your soap into it, you mix it in your mug with that, and that kind of that became shave scents. And then it became really fun because I was like, oh, we could have all these different recipes. You could add 2 drops of bay rum and 1 drop of vanilla,
like jelly
drops. Yeah, exactly. You can do whatever you want, and then you get the scent you like, and then every morning, because a lot of people would complain like, I want more scent in our smolder soap, or it's too much scent. Well, now they can get what they want, 1 drop or 2 or 3, depending on how they like the scent. So that is the idea behind it, and I encourage everybody out there to kind of follow along. I think it'll be a good way for the future, for your customers to kind of enjoy a different way of shaving, right? Or kind of create their own cocktails of what they like.
Yeah, hands-on. It's like mixology. It's really cool. I tried to do something similar with my colognes one time. Actually, I have one called Scene right now, which is just a scentless aftershave, but it's mentholated or not. It's up to you. It comes with menthol crystals if you so desire. You can experiment with that. But it all came out of a soap I created. It was a hybrid soap. It was my beta soaps, and what it was is a gin and tonic, so to speak. It was a gin-based soap with a hole cut out in the center, and then it came with 3 separate pucks. One was lime, one was orange spice, and the other was pomegranate. And if whatever you wanted to shave with that day, you plug it into the hole, and but it was too. I couldn't scale it really, and it was too hands-on creating those individually, and so it's always back to the drawing board. That's why it was a beta. But that's what people want. That's what I would want too. I mean, like there's a lot of millennials out there that want it their way right away,
Yep.
So the
That's
fine
Burger
tweak,
man.
Sorry, Chipotle. Yeah, but no, it's really great that you can cater to them because a lot of people come to wet shaving. It's not necessarily classic shaving with them. It's something new, and it is new. It's like, thanks, old guys. We'll take it from here. Let's see where we can go with this. So to see anything innovative like this come along is a really cool thing.
Thanks.
A really cool. Ted, let's play your Kickstarter video right now.
All right.
My name's Luke Webster. I'm the owner and founder of the Blades Grim. I started this company really with one goal in mind, and that's to change the way the world shaves. We started manufacturing straight razors right here in our shop in North Idaho. We brought back the lost art of how to grind razors by hand. From there, we started manufacturing all types of items. We started making handcrafted soaps, pre-shave oils and aftershaves, lotions to beard oils and beard washes, conditioners. Shaving cream is a lot of times it's going to be alcohol based. It's going to have a lot of things that are going to irritate your skin. Our soaps aren't going to do that. Our goal is to always use quality products, natural products that are good for your skin and are good for the environment. One of the great things about wet shaving is it's going to save you money. But one of the downsides is because the soap lasts so long, you're stuck with that scent until you run out, or you have to buy another one before it's even used up. We've solved the problem by introducing our Alchemist kit of shave scents. We're starting off with 12 unique 1-ounce scents that you can choose from, and you can apply as much scent or as little scent as you like. Some people want a really heavy smell of sandalwood. Other people might prefer just a very slight smell of sandalwood. If you really love the recipe that you came up with for your soap, say it's 1 drop of vanilla and 2 drops of bay rum, just put it in your hands and work it in as a cologne on your skin. We put you in control of how much scent you get out of your shave. So with 1 shaving puck of our high quality soap and our 12 scents, you could literally have hundreds of different scents the way you like them every single day. So take a look below at some of our awesome incentives, and thank you for watching.
Very cool stuff that we're seeing here, and we'll put the link below for people to get involved with the Kickstarter. Oh, we got someone talking over this side. And I'm actually going to open up the questions to the gallery right now, unless there's anything else you want to cover first before we do, Luke.
No, all good.
Okay. So, guys, any questions for Luke? Oh, there are. Okay. So down below are the questions. To the right is where we communicate, but sometimes the questions end up there too. So I'm just going to look down here. When someone's asking when it'll start. We've started, folks. Okay, we're not going to answer some of these questions.
Yeah, they're bombs.
Yeah. Here we go. Is there any difference between the white? No.
I'll answer them. I don't give a
It's not worth our time. Is there?
I'm gonna start my own show,
By all
damn it. So I
means.
can talk about all the controversial stuff.
These are loose
Douglas
cannon,
has to
folks.
censor me. a
Okay,
lot
here
of
we
the
go.
time.
Is there any difference between the white and black satin tip brushes other than the color?
No, there's really not. Now, there is a difference. The black dye that's utilized, it's the same fiber, it's the same brush, but the black is a little stiffer. The white is going to be a little bit softer, but beyond that, it's the same brush.
Okay, so it's simply the dye that's making that slightly stiffer.
Yeah.
Okay. And here we go. I see from your webpage you offer a free lifetime hone. How does that work? Customer pays shipping and you hone and send back?
Yeah, 100%. So the customer, you just pay the shipping. You send in your razor. All of our razors come with on the back side of our box. It has like instructions on where to go, and you just put in your order number that you had when you got the razor, and you just buy a $7 checkout. I think it's maybe it's $7.99 for, and we send USPS priority mail returns. So you'll get a tracking number on your way back, and we turn around relatively quick. I mean, 2 or 3 business days, and it's back on its way to you.
That's a really cool service. That actually reminds me of Gillette back in the day when they used to resharpen or rehone blades.
Yep. I have some cool tools like that they use too. It's pretty interesting stuff.
That is definitely interesting. It's tough to find a lot of those tools from back in the day in the machines. They all were shipped overseas, from what I understand, or just left to rot, So whenever you see that stuff, scoop it up. Okay, it looks like there's some questions over on the side too.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Okay. There's a recommendation for you over there, Luke.
Oh yeah, for the kind of to make a set without the soap or without the brush, I guess, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I took my glasses off, so I can't see that good.
Okay, no, it's all good. Okay, I'm an old timer from the 50s. It's so wet shaving was normal. Yeah, exactly. Now we differentiate it by calling it wet shaving. But back in the day, it was just shaving.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, there's the home question.
And Led Zepp, I have a question for Led Zepp. If you could even type in the side, living through the transition of traditional shaving to cartridges, was there a big outcry for a change, or did companies just develop this change? And since we're lazy ass people by nature, did we just want to go with the easier, more convenient? I guess just the faster way of doing things. Like, how was that back then? Like,
no, it was the companies that
shaving?
Made the change, David. It was cheaper for them and for the bottom line. They pulled it right off from everybody, and then you couldn't find DE blades anymore for the most part. But let's see what Led Zepp has to say. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It was the market that led to the change.
I mean, up until like the real rise of the internet in the last 15 years, if that didn't happen, we would still be using cartridge razors as far as I'm concerned, because you could not find blades or vintage razors. I mean, you'd find them at the shop, but you could not find fresh new blades. Turns out there have been thousands of companies out there for years making them for the third world. I mean, because for us, this is new for us to return to. They never stopped.
100%.
Now they have cartridge razors, and they're like, whoa! But they were using these forever, So that's why I say the technology and all these machines went overseas. They were selling them off real cheap. Okay. Here's another question. Do you think a beginner does better when they start with a half hollow or near wedge instead of a hollow or extra hollow?
As a beginner, I think a half hollow is a great place to start, or a full hollow. But I honestly like half hollow blades. They're just kind of like, they're a great blade. A full hollow is a little tougher, in my opinion, in some ways, to start with a straight razor shave. And for a beginner, I recommend a half hollow with a round tip and something that, 5/8 is a great size. It's, not too big. And, I always recommend that you utilize it on the wide open areas first. And then as you get a little more experience, a month or two under your belt, then work, this area through here. And then be real careful on your, obviously on your chin line. You want to be pulling your skin up so you're not shaving actually on the lines. But this is going to be your toughest area through here, like these areas there. But if you master this area, just work on your cheeks and your neck, you'll be fine in no time. You'll be shaving it. I have some friends that are insane. Like I'll bring them a straight razor and they scare the hell out of me, man. Like one of my good friends and business partners, he just wanted to work, man. I was like, whoa, slow down. And he's like, oh, that's all right. That's good. I was like, wow, it's out of control.
Yeah. Some people are off the hook like that, and they pull it off though. They're like born naturals.
No blood, no nothing. Yeah, I was really afraid for him.
You bring up pulling too, and I just wanted to give a real quick tip that I kind of came up with the other day. As what I've been using for pulling is white cotton gloves, the type you do the white cotton glove test with. Thin white cotton gloves, cut the fingers off, and you use the fingers. They're kind of like, what are they called?
Nice.
Those
finger
like condoms. Yeah. Cots, I think they're called, finger cots. You put it on, and you use that for pulling. And it's just good enough. It sticks really well. So just a little tip while we're answering questions here for you guys out there. David, do you want to add to that?
For me, I guess the safe bet would be to go to round tip, or is that we're talking about what Luke was just talking about, right?
On that.
Yeah. The safe bet would be to go with the round one. Any razor that's inexpensive would be really nice for a beginner, as long as they get it honed by somebody that's good. A square tip can be exceptional for a beginner because it does make it easier to line up the facial hair, as long as the person honing it mutes the tip. I hear the feedback too.
It's coming in. Yeah, it's like a ghost track.
You hear that?
It's being picked up by your mic. I don't know if it's you, David. You're hearing. Yeah.
Because I'm hearing you
someone's
echo
computer.
too.
Wasn't me.
We're all plugged in, right? We all have our headphones on.
Yeah.
I'm plugged in. I'm plugged in.
Am I echoing when I?
Okay, well, just to check, I guess.
Am I echoing when I talk? Is anybody hearing me? Echo. No?
Echo.
No, I just hear me and Douglas.
So clearly,
I hear
Scott
myself
is at
echo,
fault
and I
here.
hear Douglas.
Yeah, it's got to be my fault.
Okay.
I'll be the bald scapegoat.
Who's playing with their wire now?
I heard something cracking.
Yeah. Okay, here we got another question. How did you come up with the name Blade?
If I can chime in on the straight razor thing for beginners.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not necessarily a straight razor expert, but I did just do a straight razor video. If anybody wants to watch it, it's on my channel. Anyway, little plug there.
This channel's here. Subscribe today.
I actually tend to go more toward the quarter hollow, the heavier razors. That's what I usually recommend for people as a beginner, just because the weight I feel like helps add some control. And
that's a good point.
Granted, I really like wedges. Like the bigger, beefier the wedge, the better. That's me. But I tend to feel like it gives me a little bit more control. I agree that the full hollows I would steer a beginner away from those, just because they can be really tricky. And also a round point for a beginner especially. But I tend to veer even toward the less ground razors for a beginner. That's just me.
No, that's a good point.
Fair enough. Everyone has something to offer. Okay, so how did you come up with the name Blades Grim?
We were kind of kicking around different ideas, and it was never meant to honestly be a long-term brand. I just kind of looked at it as my goal at that point was to be disruptive in the market, and I thought that was a really easy way to be disruptive, to just kind of play off death and darkness and all that stuff. So now it's probably
Luke is a religious man, folks, so it's just it's insane. It's
yeah, it's so we just kind of it's people are intimidated by straight razors anyways, so it's kind of it is kind of like a Reaper, and then honestly is the other side is one of the most searched out terms for a straight razor was the Reaper, kind of like the Grim blade from now I'm losing track, Double Duck, from back in the past. I have several now. I have several of those lifetime razors.
Yeah.
So everybody called it online the Grim or the Reaper razor. So we just got tons of extra SEO and search traffic from that.
Very
And
cool.
it was not supposed to be a brand that lasted forever. We just kind of drew it up one day, and we went to market with it, and we were like, hey, like we took a lot of flack, so we knew we would, because we knew that the forum, we'd have some trouble, like, oh, it's a horrible guy, but it persevered, and we've proven that it's a good quality product, and now we just don't have a great name.
Well,
I like the name a lot.
No, it is a good name. It is a good name. But like when I started How to Grow a Mustache, it was just a blog. The products was just to bring people back to the site. But I was stuck with this name, howtogrowmustache.com. Like that was the brand name. And it just happened to turn into it. But it wasn't intentional. And it was actually kind of funny because I get these emails all the time like, oh, if you're growing a mustache, should you really be shaving?
Why do you want to shave?
Yeah, but it's like, duh, you got to release the beast, so you need to shave. Anyways, but it's not how to grow a beard here; it's how to grow a mustache. But yeah, so I completely relate to that. Ending up
Anybody
with a
can
name,
grow a
it's just like, well, my mom never could.
True. Any man? Well, no. Even then, some men can't really grow beards, so I guess I can't say
no. That. But apparently, they're not really men. I've seen a T-shirt that verifies this. Okay, what do we?
If it's on a T-shirt, it's true.
Or on the web.
Yes, that too.
Oh, this is a great question. Any changes planned for Hart Steal after the purchase?
No, we're going to keep things pretty well. There are some changes. Few changes are going to be like, I'm not in love with some of the designs of especially the round tip. Their round tip, I think, to me looks like a butter knife. I've never liked it. So we're gonna make that more of a traditional round tip. And but beyond that, I want to keep the same guys there. I want to take good care of them. Will and Danielle, the previous owners, are great people, and they're very kind and gracious to their employees. I want to keep that up. And my goal is to spend more money on advertising for Hart Steal to build that brand. I think it's a much cleaner brand than the Blades Grim in terms of being something that you can go to market with in terms of like product placement in other shops and in barber shops and things like that. Mm-hmm. I want to, we'll increase their line to probably look at maybe more of a full hollow too. And that's probably going to freak some of the guys out, but don't worry. We got plans to, make it easier for everybody. And, to be very competitive in the market. One thing I really love about the Hart Steal brand is it was Tim Zawada set it up and, set up all of their grinding techniques and heat treating. And so it's very similar to what we do here at the Blades Grim for our straight razor manufacturing. And so there's a lot, and those guys are all really good guys. They're in Michigan, most of them, and they all know Tim, and it's a good group. And I have a ton of love and respect for those guys. So we're going to do our best to lower the prices of Hart Steal. So don't wait to buy a razor. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're gonna buy them today, and then tomorrow we'll put them on sale. No, we're gonna lower their prices. My goal would be, I got to work on this. My goal is to get it down to like $199, $199 a blade, and I think that's a really great price for that American-made product. Mm-hmm. And I really want it to be, our flagship really on terms of for razors. So I have a lot of love for the brand, and I want to keep it alive and keep it running how it has been, and do a lot more on increase the budget for spend for media, public awareness and things like that. And, just champion the brand really solidly. And, and I'm thinking about maybe adding a few more options, but there's just so many options right now on the Hart product line. It's kind of crushing the guys with all the different sizes and colors of scales. So we're probably going to scale back the scale line will be shrunk down a little, but we'll make it. Yeah, we'll scale it back. But the goal is less SKUs, but better quality, better terms of like turnaround and lower price points for everybody. And the same guys doing it that have been doing it. So that's cool.
Smart. Very, very cool.
I know my
guys
brother
are asking what I'm drinking.
We have a Hart Steal, or he has a Hart Steal razor that he showed to me a while back, and it's gorgeous, and I really, really impressed with it. He loves that thing.
Those guys are great craftsmen, well, you got to get one. They'll be up on sale. We'll try to get them down to like just a standard price of $199, and that's where I think the price needs to be in order to move volumes and get more people into the straight razor shaving.
Yeah. I agree.
And then just real quick, I wanted to show we have a couple other prototypes that we're giving out with some of the tier rewards on the Kickstarter. And this is like the Z stand. It's very similar to like what the Dovo stand is, but it should be a nice gift. It'll be a nice gift for people. And so that's the single. And then we're going to give this for anybody that buys the top tier. We're actually going to give them a 7-day stand. That's very similar like that.
Oh, classic.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, and it'll have a place, for your brush as well. So, you can have your brush in there too. So it'll be a nice stand.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we're stoked about that. And anybody that buys in on the Kickstarter is going to get a big surprise because everybody's getting an upgrade and some really nice stuff in there. So we're going to make this a really fun, and it's such a niche. I mean, it's not one of these ones that's going to go wildly crazy because we're dealing with, a niche of a niche. Now we're dialing into like types of soap. But, we're at 70% funded right now, and I'm really excited, and it's like day 4. So we're excited to finish strong, and then we'll be launching another one with a safety razor right after.
Do you have a link to the Kickstarter that we can put over in the comment section over here?
Sure. I think I do. I'll probably have to find it real quick. Actually, if you just go here, shavesense.com.
Okay.
Thought I owned that.
Yeah, so that'll take you there.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you, Christian.
Now, you mentioned a razor coming up. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Luke? Or is it still under wraps? Okay.
No, we're filming the Kickstarter right now for it.
Oh, cool.
Super excited for it. It's a really cool razor. It's going to use like the feather, like professional blades. And it's going to be a fun razor. I mean, I think it's going to, it's a really nice wide angle razor, and I think I'm excited about it because it changes the field for safety razors, and it also has some uniqueness where you're not having to handle the blade as much. So for people that shake like me, or older people, or people that have kids, it's going to be a really nice option to not, to minimize the blade.
Yeah. Well, how many kids does Michael shake Monk's have now? That's bad joke. Shaking is not related to having children, folks. Okay. That's a big myth. I made that up. I'm sorry. Go on, Luke.
No, yeah. So speaking of kids, I'll give a shout out to my family. I have 6 kids and a lovely wife, and so
no TV.
No TV. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Hey guys.
So anyways,
tell us about the facility you're sitting in right now too. Like it's been a crazy year for you. 2016 has been huge.
Yeah, we've been really busy. This is the old Coldwater Creek corporate campus in Sandpoint, Idaho. It's a really neat place. We bought it a year and a half ago. I have 3 other investor buddies in it with me, and we just leased. We have about 10,000 feet here that we took. There's 250,000 feet, and we're going to keep growing. We plan on is to get another 10,000 feet. Right now, we've filled it up with all the Hart Steal and the classic shaving purchase. But it's a great facility, and it gives us a lot of room to grow. We still have the facility and shop at my house. That's R&D. That's where we design the new razor and prototype it. And we have a shooting range there. We also manufacture and prototype guns. So we do a lot of different stuff.
Mini race cars in the back.
Yeah. We have a really awesome dirt bike track, and it's a lot of fun. We have a good group of guys, and we enjoy North Idaho.
You can expect my job application.
Right on. Come on up, man. I tell everybody to get up here. It's a great place.
Yeah. And what's up with the surfing videos too? I've been seeing a lot of lately.
Yeah, so we do this thing called inland surfing. So like we have these boats that you fill up with like 5,000 pounds of water, and they create this huge wave, and you have like these little surfboards, and you actually surf behind it. Inland surfing. It's really cool. If you haven't seen it, it's fun, and it's a lot of fun. And to harass my buddies that have all these like $200,000 boats, that I created a Facebook page that you can go out and friend. It's called Don't Wake the Lake, and it's about like stopping these boats from eroding our shores. So it's kind of fun. That's a jab at them.
Well, because you're right there by it's Coeur d'Alene Lake.
Yeah, right? we're by Coeur d'Alene Lake, but Lake Pend Oreille is a bigger lake a little to the north, and that's the lake we're on. It's really, really beautiful place.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Guys, keep those questions coming down below. You really are the lifeblood of this show. I can't mention that enough, but you really keep it moving along. And we got Luke with us. We really want to pick his brain. The Luke Webster of Blades Grim. Let's see. So there was a question.
Yeah.
Take it.
Let Zep put a question on the side too.
Three-pass methodology.
It goes, how important is the 3-pass methodology when using a straight razor?
To me, it's not that important. I am not the guy that wants the closest shave on earth. I'm just a guy that wants to get out of the bathroom. So for me, I do 1 pass. I mean, like I did 3 passes when I first started, and I wanted to master it. And this could go on for. This is a deep question, so I'll answer it as fast as I can. For people that are new to wet. All right, so people that are new to wet shaving, or people that haven't thought about shaving very deeply, when you go to a barber and you get a professional shave, you're going to notice that they're going to be feeling around like this. As they're massaging, usually a pre-shave or a hot towel. They're what they're feeling for is kind of like every man has a different hair growth pattern. Some people grow circularly, so you get these circles of growth kind of out from in here, and most of the time on your cheeks, everything kind of grows down. So the easiest place to practice your 3, pass shave, and when you're looking on the blogs or reading online, you have your with the grain, then that's the WTG is what they'll refer to that as, and then you have like a cross grain shave, and they'll call that XTG, and then you'll have against the grain, and they'll call that ATG, and so that's what those acronyms mean if you see them. I really only shave with the grain. That's pretty much how I only shave, but that's kind of a little bit of a lie because I carry that shave all the way down, and I know I'm going against the grain in a couple areas down here. But so for me, I do like 1 pass, but I'm not probably the person that should champion it. There's a lot of reasons. If you go to a barber, you probably want a 3-way shave, right? You want with, against, and cross. So that's what I would say. But if you master them all yourself, that's great. I have a really hard time with my left hand shaving cross grain. That's just me though. But so I actually shave the left side of my face with my right hand, which is a big no-no. And they'll tell you on the forums that's wrong.
I do that. I actually do that when I'm shaving.
So what's wrong?
I also do that when I'm shaving across the grain on at least with a straight, because I'll pull my ear.
It's easier for you
in that way, and then just do it with my right hand. Or I'll do it with my left on my right side if I'm going across the grain.
Yeah. Yeah, it works, and if you can reach over and do it, that's great. But I say, figure out what works best for you. But there are some really fundamental ways of why it happens and why they do it. And you will get a much cleaner, closer shave. And yeah. And if you're paying a barber to shave it, do it. Yeah.
Well, and I get to the point where, like on my head, for instance, I only do 1 pass, and it's always against the grain.
Yep.
And I have no problems with it, and it's always fine. I do generally do like 3 passes on my neck and only 1 on my cheeks right now with the beard, but I generally do 3 passes on the face and neck, but only 1 on the head.
David, your
I
thoughts?
don't have to.
Personally, my thoughts on that, I think the 3-pass is absolutely, in general terms, I think it's kind of useless. Everybody's different. I know you use a 4-pass shave. I'm usually happy after 2, but I go 3 just because I like the experience and I like to prolong the process. It's gonna just depend on, again, how many different directions your hair growth goes and how smooth of a shave you want. So it pretty is damn near just irrelevant because no matter, I could do 10 passes right here with a straight razor and I'll never get it BBS because my hair grows in a spiral in each of these sides here. So it won't matter how many I do. But usually after 2 passes, I'm very satisfied. I'm usually after 2 passes BBS up here up until this point. And so it's all a matter of personal preference. It's just about it's just as important as what brand of underwear.
Well, that and with the straight razor, especially on your neck, you're never going to be able to actually go across the grain just because that blade is just so dang wide. You're not going to be able to. You can't do it.
Well, what I'm actually getting done right now, I have a buddy of mine that actually customizes gold dollars.
Yeah, if you have a shorty,
he's making me a shorty. So I'm hoping with the shorty, I'm taking about 1.5 inches off of it. I'm taking about 1.5 inches off of the length, and so I'm gonna attempt to do a cross to see if that length will allow me to do it. But we'll see. I'm not gonna slit my damn throat over it. But yeah, I am gonna. Attempt it with that shorty blade.
So okay, like a Boy Scout knife, regular straight razor on one side, shorty on the other.
The cleanup pass. Now you guys are laughing, but I have an idea. That's no. I've got a cool idea that's coming out that's going to solve like.
I volunteer.
I want to test
basically for keeping.
I want to test that one.
It'll be cool. I think you guys will like it.
Oh, it's not the one you hold in your mouth and do the goatee. No, what is that goatee?
That's terrible. Yeah, the mouth guard. That's terrible.
I don't believe that's even for sale. But
a tab on it that you bite. Well, it's
yeah, it's on Amazon. I sell a lot of those. Those are good products, people.
It reminds me of the Japanese noodle guard, where you put the little thing that goes around their face.
I don't even know what that is.
Noodles on their face.
It sounds so wrong. Well, yeah. Have you ever seen that book, Japanese Inventions?
Hey guys, just real quick, Douglas. I have to take off. I have a parent meeting for my son's football team, so David, I gotta dip out today.
Luke, it was great talking to you. Home, or is your entire family leaving?
Yeah. You're gonna get asked to leave your screen on.
Can you leave your screen on?
Everybody will be gone.
It doesn't collapse our screens.
Hey, get back here! Get back.
Okay, thanks. Excellent.
Sure.
So we have some more. Take it easy, David. Thank you for joining us today. Now,
the goatee shaver.
What?
The goatee shaver. There you go.
Goatee shaver. Yeah. Oh, where were we? Okay, we have a question here.
I have a quick question. Or go ahead. We'll answer this one.
No. Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got kind of a problem. Well, a question problem. I'm going to put it out to the people. So we have this like our 1 ounce that we're going to do the shave sense in. But the problem is with this, like, this is what our kind of go-to is for the 1 ounce. It's a nice glass bottle. It's really sweet. This is a cheaper bottle that doesn't look as cool and isn't as nice, but this allows you to squeeze it and get you the drops, like 1 drop, 2 drop, just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This one you have to shake, and usually sometimes you get 1 drop, sometimes you get 2. So as a quality, like, this is nicer, but this will give you the better application for like 1 drop or 2 drop. So I'll just pose that to the people from Kickstarter. Like if they kind of give me some, I'm going to do a poll on Kickstarter too. I don't want people to think like, hey, I got robbed, but at the same time, I want them to be able to like get the right amount. I'm probably just shipping these just because I don't want people to think, like it's a cheaper product. But the reality is I think the long-term solution is something they can squeeze, or a dropper top bottle, but I hate dropper bottles. And I think this is the better way to go. Thoughts?
What about the tiny essential oil bottles? The tiny essential oil bottles with the dropper tops.
Mm-hmm.
The little plastic plugins that are like drop tops. Those are pretty good. Yeah. Oh, were you going to bring that up, Scott?
No, I thought that sounded like kind of like what he was already describing was the essential oil kind of tops.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just doesn't always release 1 even drop.
Yeah, it can be tough.
And I think that people in the comment section are kind of making same kind of thoughts that I had. The glass looks a lot better, but at the same time, like.
Well, do you want something that looks good or something that works?
There's a couple things. Too. I mean, the amber bottle is going to protect the oil too. So if you're not using them as fast, like, you're going to have them for 2 years. Like, it's not protected from light and UV and whatnot, which will kill the scent eventually. So there's that. If they can drop or top, that would be cool. But the plastic ones.
I'm just going to ship glass, but
so come up with it's going to be a glass that.
Well, they do make the amber plastic bottles too, though. They do make those amber plastic ones.
Yeah, I'd probably get amber plastic, but the reality is we're going to ship glass because they're already made. They're ready to roll. But I'm probably going to try to come up with a better solution for application. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be like the old, the squeeze topper. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Well, for people that vape, they're used to stuff like that too. And, you could also include some empty bottles that people can make their own concoctions with and pour it in their one bottle. And
I was thinking that too.
Mm-hmm.
We can really complicate this if we overthink this too much. Make it miserable. Yeah, for you. I have nothing to do with this one.
Douglas is like, here's what you should do.
Yeah. Thanks, Luke. I'll take it from here. Okay, what do we got? So someone's asking, I think I already know what you're going to say, but they're asking, what do you think of pre-shave oils?
I love them. They're like, they're my best-selling product. No, we sell tons of pre-shave oils, and I was turned on to pre-shave prior to being a wet shaver, and it was Shave Secret, and it's a really good product. Ours is better, but it's a really good product. And I had I had issues like right through here. I worked in the oil and gas industry, and I was like a computer guy. I owned an oil service company with my brother. And, you always had to shave, and you had to be clean shaven daily, because if there's a issue, you have to have the SCBA. Anyways, pre-shaves are great. I would recommend anybody that has irritation that shaves with gel should use a pre-shave. The nice part is when you switch to wet shaving, you get less irritation. But if you use a pre-shave, you're going to be so much happier. You get a better shave. So I'm big on pre-shaves.
I'd like to. I can piggyback on that too. Like a lot of the times when you're getting irritation, it's sometimes most of the time, a lot of the time, especially for those working in cubicles, it's not coming from your shave. If you're using a safety razor, if you're using cartridge, it may be, but it's a lot of times coming from your collar, rub it up against there. Mm-hmm. And the way around that is actually diaper rash cream or anything that contains zinc oxide. If you put that on there, that'll resist agitation from the rubbing of your shirt, or even if you wear a strap, if you're a firefighter, chafing. So that's a little tip I'd like to piggyback on that. Scott, go.
Yeah, especially firefighters.
I've had issues with both positive and negative experiences with shave oils. Like I've had a few where it just like you apply it and any kind of lathering afterward that you put on, it just kills the lather. Granted, that's just a mixture of different ingredients, so it's probably just
it could be olive oil. If it's olive oil based, that would happen.
Yeah,
or you're using too much of it. You really don't need that much of it.
Yeah,
and a lot of people overdo it.
But I have had a couple of pre-shave oils that have worked really well, and so it's especially if you've gone if you're going to be shaving every day, to resist or to help to mitigate that irritation that can happen. Pre-shave oil is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
A thought that was over in the comment section over here from Lewis with regards to the bottles, saying plus you're selling it as an alchemy set. The dropper kind of goes with the alchemy name. So
that makes sense.
You know what goes with it is a mixing bowl that looks like a mortar and pestle.
Yeah, there you go.
Have the brush end sticking out of the.
There you go.
There you go. That's a good point.
Okay.
Just make a brush that looks like a mortar, and
his brushes already do. Just stick it in there.
Stick it in there.
Call it the shave pestle.
There you go.
Turn it wet shaving gold.
there you go.
Create wet shaving gold. Okay, here we go. Another question regarding grind. Your website says they are hollow grind, but how does that compare to a blade like a Boker SS Extra Hollow? I think I need a blade that is less hollow than that one.
So we have like we offer like full hollow, and Hart has like a quarter hollow and a half hollow. So the Boker that you're speaking of, I imagine, is like a really massive hollow, kind of more like a double duck. Is that? I'm assuming that's right. I'm not familiar with that blade right offhand.
Ed, if you can answer that in the sidebar.
Yes,
extra hollow.
Cool. So like those blades are like a singing razor. They're gonna be like really. I like them. I like that. We're not gonna have so much rigidity. We're gonna be a lot. I mean, we're gonna be a lot more rigid than that. So like that blade will flex quite a bit. It has so to me, if you're new, I would go with a heavier blade. But like, am I answering the question? What was the exact question? I'm sorry. You're rattling off empty can.
Your website says, you sound like Clinton. Your website says they are hollow grind, but how does that compare to a blade like a Boker SS Extra Hollow?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not going to be near as it won't be near as hollow. So we'll carry the hollow. Let me see if I can find a blade here. Like this is one of our hollow ground blades. So like I don't know if this is a custom, but that's pretty close to about what you're going to see. It's kind of tough because it's a spike point. Let me see if I can find another one here.
A lot of people would consider that a like closer to a half hollow.
Yeah, that one there is more like a half hollow. This is going to be like more of like
play pool of knives over here.
That's going to be more like what you're talking about, like a very hollow ground blade. And I don't have one of our standard blades here. Let me see. Is this no? So unfortunately, I guess I could kind of say like we're going to look more like this. It's going to be a little bit more hollow. This is a custom blade that I made, so it's going to be, it's not one of our true Grim blades, and I'm not as great a hollow grinder as some of our guys, but yeah, you're going to get a nicer hollow on the Boker. It's going to be a lot thinner all the way to the spine, where ours are going to start tapering out about 3/4 of the way up the blade face. So they'll start fanning out earlier.
There you go.
And we have one last question. In the shave scent recipes, are there certain notes that are always top notes and others that are always base notes?
Just so I understand the question, I don't know. Maybe I think
I understand the question, and I think that's when it comes to top notes, heart notes, and base notes. That's typically something you really is more for aftershaves or colognes or perfumes. A shave is too fleeting scent wise, so all you're going to get really hit with is the top notes. They're not going to fade on you during the course of the shave. On. Yeah, so it doesn't have enough time to live or to breathe as a scent. Granted, there will be all those notes in play, but yeah, no, I guess I haven't looked at your book. I'd like to check. Oh, we lost the blinds.
We're skinny.
David's ghost. I think that answered your question, Christian. I just don't know if it.
And on these, honestly, there's going to be a lot of like bottom notes probably as well too, because we've built it to work as like kind of like a cologne, as like a oil-based cologne too. So I use it quite a bit, right? You just put drops in your hand and then I just rub it around and I'll use it like a cologne. But all these scents are going to be they'll be available in our spray cologne. But it's the same scent that we use in that. So and they last throughout the day.
It's really funny. I used to use that in college, the essential oils, just rubbing my beard and stuff like that. People used to call me a hippie. Now all you tough guys are doing it, and it's like, oh.
so I'm using my patchouli of all things, like beard wax today or mustache wax. I like it. Everybody likes it until you tell them what it is. They're like, oh, patchouli.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And anybody that knows me knows that's not the case.
Did you see last week's edited episode, Luke? I turned you into a hippie at one point. Oh, okay. Watch it. There's some special effects. I'm sure you're going to dig. Okay, so this brings us really, this show has just flown by today, and I'd like to thank everybody out there for joining us in the gallery. You guys, your questions have been top notch. You really brought your A game to the show today, and I appreciate that. We all appreciate that. Luke, if people want to find out more about you, where is the best place for them to do that?
About me personally would be www just the letter I.link, LINK. So that'll get to my LinkedIn, and from there you can go explore like all the different companies and stuff.
Okay, and then for someone interested in participating in this Kickstarter, you've already put the link there. I'll put the link below, so don't worry about that, Luke. And Blades Grim. How can people find out more about that?
grimblades.com or thebladesgrim.com, either one of those. We have some great videos up there. We're adding more, so testimonials and stuff about who the company is, why we're here, and some good lifestyle ideas, and like just some background on who we are.
Excellent. Well, again, thank you, Luke, for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. The last couple of weeks have been a lot of fun having you on the show with us, so we really appreciate it. Excellent. And Scott, as always, it's been a great show. And everyone out there, we'll see you next week in episode 60 of the Wet Shavers Roundtable. It's been over a year now, folks, and we're still doing. Oh, before we cut out though, Luke will also be at the Seattle Shave Con with me,
Yep.
and we'll be doing a roundtable there live. So, so if you're in the Seattle area, September 17th, check out Seattle Shave Con. Check out seattleshavecon.com right now to see all the vendors that are going to be there. There's going to be loads of vendors and artisans, and it's going to be an all-day event. It's going to be a huge, huge thing. I hope it's as big as the Big Shave West. If it's not, I won't be disappointed. Just checking out who's on the roster there. So thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week in another Wet Shavers Roundtable. If you're just tuning in now, sorry you missed it, but the replay will be up on YouTube tomorrow.
Yep.
Subscribe today, folks, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Ciao.